Ascension, Chronicle of the Godslayer is a deck-building game that was designed by 3 Magic the Gathering Pro Tour champions as a lighter alternative to the hugely popular collectible card game.
In Ascension, players are heroes who are fighting against Samael the Fallen God and his legion of monsters. It supports 2 to 4 players and lasts from 45 minutes to about an hour and a half. There are also 2 standalone expansions, Return of the Fallen and Storm of Souls. Either of those can be combined with the base game to make for a 6-player game. Otherwise, Return of the Fallen supports 2 players on its own, and Storm of Souls supports 4.
So Ascension uses a slightly different setup than most deck builders. Instead of choosing a bunch of sub-decks to draw from, you shuffle the entire center deck and place it on the board. The top 6 cards are then placed face up on the board as well, and they're immediately available to all players to fight or to purchase, depending on whether they're monsters, heroes, or constructs. As soon as a card is removed from that spread of 6 face-up cards, it is immediately replaced with another card from the center deck.
In addition to the center row, the Mystic, Heavy Infantry, and Cultist card are placed along the side, and they're always available to every player. They stay there face up for the entire game and never get removed. Once this has been set up, every player gets a starting deck of 8 Apprentices and 2 Militia, from which you're going to draw a starting hand of 5 cards. There's also going to be a number of honor tokens placed on the table that forms a pool, the size of which depends on how many players you've got in the game.
So honor tokens work like victory points in Ascension. As soon as that pool of honor tokens is completely depleted, the player with the most honor wins the game. You can get honor in a couple different ways. You can either collect those tokens, and you can also get honor off of the cards within your deck.
So each turn, a player is going to play cards from their hand in order to gain runes, power, and honor. Runes are like currency and they let you buy certain cards from the deck, while power lets you defeat monsters. You can purchase and defeat as many cards in the center row as you want, so long as you've got the runes and the power to do so. So a monster is defeated by playing a number of cards from your hand with a power value that meets or exceeds the defeat cost in the upper right of the monster's card. Once this has happened, then the player collects a number of honor tokens indicated on the monster card, and that monster gets banished to the void and is immediately replaced in the center row.
So heroes and constructs can be purchased by playing a number of cards with a rune value that equals the cost of those cards. Once the hero or construct is purchased, it's placed in the discard pile and used in future turns. Once you use a hero card, that card is placed in your discard pile. If you use a construct card, however, that card stays on the board and you can use it in future turns. The special ability on a construct card can be used once per turn, and you'll often find that a construct special ability works well with other construct special ability as well.
So a lot of the heroes and constructs have special powers that are going to let you do extra things on your turn. This might be drawing an extra card, getting a particular kind of card for free, or automatically defeating a certain monster. You've also got to remember that you can attack the cultist at any point to gain extra honor, or use the heavy infantry and mystic cards to boost your rune and power score for that turn.
So once a player has taken all the actions that they can or want to during a turn, they discard the heroes that they've used, and then they discard the rest of their hand that they haven't used into their discard pile. They then draw up a whole new hand of 5 cards. The game continues in these turns until the entire honor pool is depleted, and then the player with the most honor wins the game.
So one of the great things about Ascension is that its structure allows for really fast gameplay. If you've got experienced players, you can play out a game in as little as 30 minutes, which is pretty cool. The other thing is that it's fairly well balanced by the fact that you've got those heavy infantry, mystic, and cultist cards, so even if you've got a really bad hand, you're still not out of the game, and there's always something that you can do so you feel like you're actually being effective. Now, unfortunately, it is really hard to plan very far ahead in this game. It's not particularly strategic because a lot of the options available to you are determined by the actions of the player before you and what they do to that center row.
So another con that comes along with that is that there is a really high luck factor in this game. More so than most deck builders, actually. So people who are more into playing strategic games might be a little frustrated by that. However, another pro for this game is the fact that it is so easy to learn and so easy to teach. A lot of the instructions are actually laid out right on the board, so beginning players aren't going to get lost. Also, it's a great game for people who loved the flavor and the style of Magic, but didn't really want to spend the money or deal with the complexity that came along with Magic the Gathering. So this is a really nice, lighter option.